Welcome to The Forge Focus, a podcast through The Forge, where we focus on our mission of enhancing manhood through our three pillars of positive imagery, quality fellowship, and service to others. These three pillars were created to help fight toxic masculinity and promote a healthy aspect of manhood. Here we will have personal discussions with men in the community and beyond who exemplify this mission and can share their experiences and perspectives in efforts to make us all just a little better than we were before listening in. I mean, hey, let's face it, we can all learn from each other, right? And now, your host, Ebony McNeil. Prepare to be forged.
Hey, what's up, y'all? This is Ebony coming to you from The Forge. Thank you for attending another episode of the Forge Focus podcast. I think this is episode number 9. Thanks for tuning in. You know how we do. We talk to men out in the community who continue and to exemplify our Forge mission, which is enhancing manhood from the inside out. So we talk to them personally versus in a group setting because we want to make sure that you hear their message because everybody got a great story. So I'm going to jump right into this. And I have a good friend of mine here. A lot of people have been paying attention. He's going through quite a few things. And today we're going to look into some things like men's health on multiple levels, the strength of a good relationship and how that can keep you going. So without further ado, I'm going to dive right in here with my good friend, Dante George. What's going on, sir?
Hey, happy to be here. It's been a journey, and I'm just happy to be able to tell exactly what I went through, what I looked out for, and what I'm doing now. My marriage and everything. Hopefully somebody sees this and, if you're battling something, get it checked out immediately because it could save you from life and death.
Awesome. So I'm going to jump right in and we're going to unpack a few different things.
All right.
And even how you started was a big point. You said a journey. You've been on a journey. A lot of us don't see life as a journey, especially if you've had a life that's pretty, I don't want to say basic. Nobody's basic, but a life that's been not as full of ups and downs as yours has been. So why don't you go ahead and let's start off with pieces of your journey that, to me, I've known you and your brother forever, but the pieces that really started to resonate. Let's jump into the weight loss journey that you went through. Let's talk about that.
For most of my life, I've always been heavy. My heaviest, and it's stress eating. I battle with depression. So you're going through that. Most of you go to eat, not to the eating doesn't help you at all, but that's your way of coping with whatever you're going through. At one time I was over 400 pounds and I started doing my Herbalife nutrition. I lost a lot of weight doing that, 2 shakes, meal replacements, and I lost close to 100 pounds with that. But as you're heavy, most of your life, if you lose weight like that, you start to develop other health issues. I went to my doctor. They recommend, I had issues with diabetes, and I went to my doctor. They said they threw it out there. Hey, this is an option. This may or may not be for you. I talked it over with my wife, and 2019, I had weight loss surgery. I had the sleeve done.
Okay.
People think when you get the surgery done, that's the end all be all. That's a cure for everything. Nah. I know people that have gotten a weight loss surgery. They don't stick to a strict diet afterwards. They don't go to the gym. You got to be on yourself after surgery, or it was just a waste. It's going to be a waste of time.
It's funny you say that. I remember, I'm not going to say all the detail because I don't want to put anybody on blast, but I remember there was 2 individuals I knew that I had worked with previously. And one in particular, she had the surgery. And I remember the drastic change from after she had the surgery, but it was really, for lack of a better word, peculiar because we'd see as the time went on after the surgery, she apparently had the same thought you did, like, okay, I had the surgery, I'm good. And she kept just eating bad again.
Oh, no.
And you could see it. And you could see it in her. But what's weird is and you can explain this even more, but what you saw as she gained her weight back was actually a worse version than before she even had the surgery. Like, I felt like the natural weight gain, your body could adapt to it as she grew. Mm-hmm. But when she had the surgery and then went back to eating like crap, she actually looked sicker. And it was gaining in weird weight. It looked crazy. Yeah. And I remember when she no longer worked with us, we went into a desk of hers, mm-hmm. and she was like hoarding horrible junk food. And I mean, she had half-eaten food and chips and sugary drinks and candy. And we, as a place of employment, we didn't know that was going on. So that helped us. We were like, wow, that's why everything was going. Why she was sick all the time and all this, and this is why. So like, I can imagine how, if you do it the right way, like you did, it actually is. There's so many positives to it, but otherwise the negatives can outweigh it. And I'm sure we've all known people who have done it that way.
Well, you take, before the surgery, you have to take a few classes before that. They tell you at these classes, like, you're not going to be able to eat the way you did before, because you're just going to end up the same way. And you're going to have to cut some things off that you love. Sodas, stuff with sugar. Try to stay away from it or portion it out. Some people, like I said, my main thing was, if I'm going through with this surgery, I'm not gonna eat the way I did before. I'm not gonna live that lifestyle. You know what I mean? Because when I started looking at myself in the mirror and I see the weight coming off, I'm not going back to that 400-pound Dante. I can't. Right. Because and I look back on it and I tell my wife this all the time. I don't know how we lived every day with me at that weight. We would go to the amusement park. I would have to sit down, take a walk, sit down, not get on any ride. Nah, I can't live that life anymore. We go to Dorney Park or whatever. I'm going to get on the roller coasters with you.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be the reason why we got to stand at a ride and just watch people. Nah, that's not going to be me anymore. So I started after the surgery, stay with my nutrition, go to the gym, be more active, take walks 3-4 miles a day. At least and that's not saying you got to go to the gym every day. You don't have to be in the gym 2-3 hours. Nah, you get it. My thing is, I want to go in the gym. I want to break a good sweat. And that's it. I'm not going to overexert myself there. Me going to the gym and sweating it out is better than me sitting at home watching TV.
Facts. So I know something else about when people get the surgery, from what I understand, again, I've never had it, but they almost make you commit to losing weight even before you get the surgery. Yeah,
in my case, I didn't have to lose any weight before the surgery date. Some places, they make you lose 50 pounds, 75 pounds before the surgery.
Is that because they want to, from what I understand, is that because they want to see a commitment from you first?
Yeah.
They want to see, okay, you'll put in the work.
Yeah.
That way, because they figure that'll translate again after you have the surgery, you'll still be healthy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Some people, they can't do that. I've known people that had their surgery date given to them, and for whatever reason, they either backed off or they didn't stick to the guidelines that leading up to that date, and it was canceled.
So is it because you actually had already lost some weight because of the Herbalife and thing prior, so you were good there?
Yeah, it was good.
Okay. Yeah. Perfect. So, let's dive into that. So afterwards, I know you really dove into. You said yourself you didn't overexert yourself, but it seemed like you did. Like you were killing it.
Oh yeah,
in the gym.
Yeah,
like consistently.
Yeah.
So what made you decide to go that hard? Because a lot of people again don't do it. So
listen, for me, any pound I lose is an achievement, and people don't see that. People want to lose 10, 15 pounds before I lost 10, 15 pounds. No, you lost, every time you lose a pound, that's like 20, 25 pounds off your knees.
Wow.
Yeah, people don't know that. Any time you lose a pound, it's an achievement. And my biggest fear is putting any weight back on. Any weight. My heaviest weight was 426. I got down to like 215, 220. I gained some weight back during my battle with cancer, but I'm determined to get back to 215, 220.
Yeah, I remember. I ain't going front. You're my good friend, but I remember seeing you hit that 215. I was like 220. I said, hold up, man. I said, hold on, man. This is rough. I said, look, I ain't gonna lie. Like, I was feeling some kind of... Yeah, I was like, hold on, man. I was like, he went from 4 to 215, and I'm struggling to break under 220. I said, all right. And it helped, though. Real rap. Like, I dove in. Like,
it was all checking our...
Yeah, everybody's like, all right, well, I ain't got no excuse now. Let's go. Like, I was killing it. But it was cool to be that inspiration for people. I don't think everybody understands when they're an inspiration for other people.
Yeah.
So that was big, and I applaud you for it, and I really enjoyed watching your journey with that.
Thank you.
Yeah, definitely. And it was cool, too, because watching you do it and your wife being there with you, that was dope. Because, one, it's just dope for me. I'm a romantic, so anytime I see a good relationship going on and people willing to share their happiness for each other, that's big for me. But to see it done in the gym where a lot of times people don't work out together, whether it be for time, whether it be, I just don't like working out the same way as you, whatever the case may be. So to see you on such a journey and her being there with you, and she was on the same journey, am I correct?
Yeah. When we first met, we were both heavier. Like, we look back on pictures now and it's like, what were we doing?
Yeah.
And they had to see your significant other in the same place trying to reach her goals and I'm reaching my goals. It's a good feeling. It's a good feeling. I would go in the gym and pass machines and I'm like, I see people running on the treadmill and doing the stair climber and I'm like, yo, they're crazy. But as I got into it and motivated, I was that same person running on the treadmill, doing the stair climber. And once you see the weight coming off and people look at you differently, and it's a lie that people don't treat you differently when you're heavier than when you lose weight or when you're skinny. People definitely do treat you differently, and it's always not, it's good attention, but then it's bad because I'm like, you didn't even talk to me when I was over 400 pounds.
Talk about it. Yes, indeed.
Like, and now you want to have a conversation. We'll have that conversation, but I'm like, man, I don't like to surround myself with people like that. If you didn't talk to me then, don't talk to me now, please.
Yeah, and it's funny because it is a thing. Like, in society, they will look at you and think, no matter what, you could be in every other aspect, you could be killing it, but they'll look at you overweight and then they start to develop a picture of who you are or your worth or whatever the case may be based off of just that. And like you said, all of a sudden you lose that. You're the same in every other way. You just lost weight. Yeah. Now all of a sudden people got stuff to say. Yeah. People want to be around. I can imagine that's a big difference. I mean, I can see even when I fluctuate in a 20-pound range, like, you know what I mean? You get a different type of attention because part of it, maybe you can dress better, whatever the case would be, but you do get a different type of attention. Did that ever, like you said, you didn't want to talk to people after that, but knowing that subconsciously, did it also help motivate you so you could, because we can all say we don't, but if you know that walking in this room, I'm going to look a little better, it's going to push you a little bit.
Well, part of my motivation was everybody knows my brother. Everybody sees me as a big dude and my brother as a fit dude. Part of my motivation throughout the whole process was to one day take a picture of us next to each other and people say, yo, he looks skinnier than you. to my brother. I'll never forget my brother called me and he said, yo, you better quit what you're doing in the gym. What are you talking about? Somebody just told me your brother looks skinnier than you. And I was like, I'm right where I need to be.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I can imagine.
I mean, I'm not even gonna lie to you. I don't lift like he does. He's on another level with the lifting, but I got better cardio than him. I could, if we ever, we on the treadmill, I could last longer than him. I know that for sure.
Okay. I know he don't even like cardio.
No, no, not at all.
Brother does not like it. He'll curl a house, but he don't like no cardio. I feel you on that one. Every time I see him, I'm like, I don't know if they make shirts with those dynamics. Like, you ain't supposed to have on a medium body with an extra large arm, bro.
He's up top, he's a powerhouse. Down low, he got them Kevin Durant legs.
Oh, he's gonna get on you for that. He's gonna get on you for that.
I know.
But even so, just to pivot a little bit, like right now, how we're laughing and cracking jokes. Speaking of being funny, one of the things I definitely want to talk to you about is your character that you put out there on social media.
Mr. Yandel.
Yes, sir, Yandel. I had me watching all your reels back to back at times because it was like, what? It's hilarious. So just give us a little bit about how Yandel came about.
We were having a cookout and I just seen a wig there and I put it on and my guy Nathan, my stepson, he had a camera and I was outside grilling and I never forget we made that first video and I didn't expect it to, I put it up, I posted it and I didn't expect it to get the reaction it did. So I was like, damn, maybe I got something here. And I usually work third shift. Well, I've been working third shift most of my life. Third shift, you think about a lot of stuff, life, different scenarios. And I was just like, you know what, let me see where I could take this character. And it's an alter ego, you know, some people take life way too serious.
Yeah.
Way too serious. So, I mean, if I can make somebody laugh that's going through something, amen. You know, not everybody's going to receive it well. Some people think it's just for attention. I don't need nobody's attention. Yeah. I just need, you know, my goal is to make people laugh. That's it. And if I could do that with that, so be it.
Well, it definitely works because I know, I ain't gonna lie, I was sitting there cracking up. I remember when you were like doing them consistently, and I remember talking to people like, "Yo, did the next one come out yet? This next video drop?" Because we were actually waiting to watch the joints, and it's funny. And the funny part is, it's like you said, it's simple. It's technically you with a wig on and just acted different, but it's hilarious. And I was wondering, I was like, did you start that before the weight loss or after the weight loss?
I believe it was after.
I thought so.
I was still, if you look back at the very first video of Yandel, I was probably like a couple months after my surgery.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I remember doing it. And so do you think that, again, that gave you the confidence? You losing this weight, feeling better about yourself now, gave you the confidence to make this video, put it out there and keep pushing yourself out?
I mean, I get my comedy from my dad. My dad, anybody who knows my dad, they always say, yo, he was the funniest dude ever. I get my damn, I can't remember.
Sense of humor
from my dad. So that was always in me. I think as I started losing weight, the confidence start to get there. And of course, if you film a video, you want look halfway decent in the video.
Facts, definitely. All right, cool. Well, it's good to talk about that. We're going to look into the deeper side of your journey now. You know, like you said, the weight loss thing was big, but also I want to talk about your battle with cancer that you went through.
Okay.
And how inspirational, as much as inspirational as it was with the weight loss and all of that, I felt like the world was watching when you were going through cancer. So we're going to look into that next and unpack that.
All right.
So let's discuss what you went through in your journey and your battle with cancer. Okay. I ain't gonna lie, it's hard to even say that because a lot of people, it's the C word. It's a word that most people, when you hear it, you get nervous, you cringe. I'm sure we've all lost people to it. So it's really cool seeing you go through it and come out of it. Not go through it, obviously. I don't mean it that way, but it was really cool watching somebody I knew and cared about with the fight and come out and still be strong in the end. So go ahead and let us know a little bit about your journey, when it started, how things developed, and stuff like that.
All right. Back in, it was probably October, I noticed a bump like on my neck. I thought it was maybe, you know how you get bruises and they come and go, but I noticed it really like when I got my hair cut. I let it go by for like a week, and I remember getting my hair cut, and I said to my wife, "Hey, listen, I got this bump on my neck." It was like right under my jaw, and she said, she looked at it and she felt it, and she was like, "Set up a doctor's appointment." And I was like, "You sure? You don't think it's gonna go away?" And she was like, "Set up a doctor's appointment. Worst case scenario, it's more than what you did. It's not just a bruise or anything." I set up a doctor's appointment, told my doctor. He felt it right away, and he immediately set up an appointment with the cancer center.
Right away?
Right away.
First appointment?
First appointment.
Ooh, yeah, that gotta be rough.
So, of course, you hear the word cancer, and I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. They didn't even tell me I officially had cancer, but I had to go to the cancer center. I went to the cancer center. They set up a PET scan.
CAT scan, ain't it?
Yeah, CAT scan.
I think so.
They set up a CAT scan. I went for the CAT scan. They went through all these tests. I never forget where I was at my house. That doctor called me from the cancer center, and she was like, "Mr. George, the bump that you have has lymphoma." I said, "Lymphoma?" I said, that's cancer, correct? And she was like, "Unfortunately, yes." I hung up the phone, and tears just started, because I just thought I'm gonna die.
That's what we think usually when you hear that word.
I'm gonna die. I called my wife immediately. I couldn't even get the words out. I was in tears. She was on the other end in our shop crying. She said, "Listen, we're gonna get through this. Nobody wants to hear the C word, but we're gonna get through this." I continued to go to work after that. But I started getting like spasms in my whole body. Like I couldn't move. I remember I had to leave work early. I had the next 3 days off. I had to leave work early that Thursday. And during, I would go to sleep. I had spasms throughout. Went to my next appointment. Then I had to get a bone marrow.
Okay.
Yeah, bone marrow. And set up for them to put a port in my chest. And the port is when they do blood work, instead of going through your veins, they just go through the port.
Okay.
So I actually still got my port in me. So then they set up the first day of chemo. They said, "Yeah, you're going to have to get 6 rounds of chemo." Depression kicked in right away.
Oh, man.
So not only am I battling cancer, also the depression is kicking in. I wasn't the only provider in my household, but I was the main provider.
Okay.
Along with our shop, and I couldn't go back to work. So all these thoughts is going through my head, like, what am I going to do now? How are we going to survive this? Are we going to have to close down our shop? And that's even before chemo. My wife was just in my ear throughout the whole thing. "Listen, stay positive. We're going to get through this. It doesn't look good now, but we're going to get through this together." Now, I've I've had relationships in the past where when everything is good, they want to brag about you. When everything things is messed up, oh, you're gonna have to figure that out by yourself.
Man, talk about that. That's what we men go through that, believe it.
So actually, honestly, I was waiting for her to do that. Like, as strong as we was together, I was waiting for her to be like, you know what, you're gonna have to go through this by yourself. Never, nothing like that ever came out of her mouth. My biggest supporter, my best friend, and she was there for me the first time I had chemo, right by my side, closed down the shop. She was there for me. I kind of was like, she went to the first one. She went to all my doctor's appointments with me. And just my biggest fan throughout. I started losing my hair. Because I didn't realize, I knew it, but I didn't realize. I go like this a lot. And as I'm going like this, my hair is like coming out. And I'm like, yo, what's going on? And then babe, you lose your hair. And I never had, the only time I got hair is when I put the wig on for Yandel.
Right.
But I've never had, like, my goatee, like, it started fading away to the point where I had no facial hair. I got a little bit, I had taco meat on my chest. I lost that.
Taco meat gone. Oh, man.
And I lost my eyebrows. Listen, you want a wake-up call? Go stand in the mirror and see you don't have eyebrows. It's a heart. Like, that tugs at your heart. I didn't come out the house. I didn't want nobody seeing me like that. It was a wake up call to let me know, hey, this is real.
So, like, what kind of thoughts were going through your head? And the reason I'm asking this is because you had just went through such a high, you know. You lost all this weight before the surgery. Then you got the surgery and you stuck with it. Then you were killing it in the gym and everybody's paying attention. You lost all this weight. And again, you were beating me in your weight loss. But like, then this kicks in. Is it, I can imagine it almost has a feeling like, oh, wow, like I finally feel like I made it. And then it feels like somebody tugs you back. Nope, not yet. So how does that weigh on your mind when you're going from such a high to hearing the C word?
Honestly, to be honest with you, and this is before my first chemo, I was ready to go. My mom passed away in 2000, and it kept going through my head, like, if I die, I'm going to be reunited with my mom. Being selfish, that's selfish because I'm leaving my wife, I'm leaving my family behind. But I was ready to go.
Yeah, you mean you accepted it and you were just like, okay,
yeah,
this is what happens.
I was like, if I somehow don't get through this, I'm going to be reunited with my mom.
Wow.
Yeah. It wasn't until maybe like the third chemo, I was like, all right, because the chemo is they're putting poison in you to get poison out of you.
Right.
And you're weak, you're very weak. There'd be days I was laying on the couch all day. Not because I didn't want to move, because I couldn't move. I was that weak. I've
heard actually that for a lot of people, the chemo has more negative impact on your body than the cancer itself actually does.
Yeah.
Obviously, the cancer long-term would kill you or could kill you. But like what you're feeling, if they didn't give you the chemo, your pain and things wouldn't be even close. But the chemo is what actually, I've known people, the chemo is what's taking them out.
Yeah,
the people that don't make it through the chemo.
And the doctor told me, like, before she set up the first appointment for chemo, I said, well, what if I decide not to go the chemo route? She said, you have less than a year.
Wow.
So I basically had no choice. So
take away what you said about you were ready because of meeting your mom. But when somebody tells you got less than a year, explain to me how that made you feel. Because I'm not gonna lie, there's things I think about that aren't complete now, and I don't even have a time limit on. I mean, we all have a time limit, but nobody's giving me a time limit, and I still feel like I have so much unfinished business. So when somebody tells you have less than a year, if you don't mind sharing, like, what does that do to you? How does that make you feel?
That is like, that's, and them thoughts that being reunited with my mom, that's when that kicked in heavy. But somebody telling you only got so much time to live, that's heartbreaking, because I've done so much, I've gone through so much up until then, and I'm like, well, I didn't even get to, I still got a lot to live for, you know what I mean? And you know, I was only married maybe 2 years at that point. 2 years at the point. We got so much that we want to accomplish together. Wow. So it's like, it's almost like I felt like some type of failure that, you know, I didn't get to live my life the way I wanted to live it. Because now this is happening. I've been through a lot of stuff in my life. I've been homeless. I've been dealing with the weight loss. And now this. So it was always, and they told me, like, if you was over 400 pounds and you got this, it'd be less, like a couple months.
It would have taken you out real fast.
Yeah, because I was in the shape I was, the chemo was a way for me to beat this.
Wow.
Yeah.
So like when I'm listening, one thing I'm absorbing while listening to you is your health has so much impact on your life, and we don't, as men, especially black men, especially men raised the way we all were, you take it for granted until it's too late. So I'm listening to your story, like, had you not made the decision to lose that weight and get healthy, what was on the horizon, you wouldn't even be able to beat that.
Exactly. You know that saying, everything happens for a reason?
Yeah.
If I didn't get that weight loss surgery in 2019, I probably wouldn't be here today.
Wow.
And if I didn't go as hard as I did in the gym and losing weight, I wouldn't be here.
That's what I said on a podcast previous. I said, I don't believe in coincidence. I believe everything, like I said, happens for a reason. I think it's all part of God's plan. So whatever spurred the thought in your mind to get that surgery, that was part of your journey. Like that was one of my favorite phrases is the word Kairos moment. And that was a Kairos moment because had you, at that moment, you could have said, I'm either getting the surgery or I'm not.
Yeah.
And had you said you're not, you might have, I mean, your thought process, okay, I lost some weight with the Herbalife, etc., so I'll still be okay and I'll be happy with the weight I have gotten off. But unbeknownst to you, that decision was bigger than weight loss.
Yes.
That decision was your life being extended.
Yes.
So does that change how you view health?
Oh, of course. Of course. I take my health very serious. Like my coworkers at my job, they kid with me all the time because they're eating whatever, and I'm eating my vegetables and yogurts and all that. I don't drink the sodas. I don't try to have anything with sugar anymore. After I got through this, because it takes a while for you to get your full energy back. But like my job is very physical. When I went back, I jumped right back into it just to see where I was at physically. Took a few days, but you know, I'm used to it now. I'm back in the gym, and you know, every day awake is a blessing.
Do you, and you know, I mean, I'm a devil's advocate type of guy, and I like to really dig into the integrity of a person. So do you really think that consistently, like every day is a blessing? Because some people say it when they're asked, but they don't show it through their new actions. Because to me, when your mentality is really changed, your actions change. So what, like, other than just eating and stuff, how do you think that affects you, what you do every day, how you live every day?
I try to be as positive as I can. I try to get that message out on social media. For me, every day is a blessing. I'm not supposed to be here. I wasn't supposed to be here. If everything didn't happen the way it did in my life, I would be gone. So the fact that I get another chance to get this right, I'm not taking anything for granted. If I gotta run through a wall, I'm gonna run through that wall. It may take me a while, it may take me a couple tries, but I'm gonna get through that wall.
And be happy that you got the chance to get through the wall.
And be happy. I'm so blessed in my marriage. We have so much that we want to get done. We have so much that we want to do together. Like I said, I'm jealous of your marriage.
Man, don't be jealous of nobody's marriage.
No, listen, I'm jealous because I see all the vacations you on and all that. We trying to get there too, and we will. But you know, when the time is right, we're going through your wife for the vacation and all that. So it's gonna happen. It's just a matter of when. Now.
And see, I like that because now, like, even things like vacations, you appreciate them differently when you were at a time limit.
Yeah.
It's crazy because that's inspirational. I know for all of us, we all go through things, but when you go through the timing that you're saying to yourself, wow, I literally only have this amount of time unless things get better. That got to change your perspective on everything. You know, like you said, you have a stepson, and is that you have other kids, correct?
Yeah, my wife has 2 boys.
Okay.
Anthony and Nathan. And then I have 2 of my own.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Did that affect your relationship with them? Like, did you see it? Did becoming a good father even have become a higher priority because of your health and things like that?
Damn, this is a touchy subject. My relationship with her boys is special to me, and I hold that close to my heart because when I was going through all that, I really didn't hear from my kids.
Oh wow, sorry.
I had one conversation with my daughter, but that's it. And you know, it's a long process with them. I was in a long-term relationship with their mother. A lot of things happened. I wasn't the most perfect person at that time. And they were raised differently, I'll say that. And it's the type that they want you to jump when something happens to them, but they can't even be on the phone with you for 2 minutes to see how you're doing.
Yeah, I've heard that story way too much, and it hurts. It hurts my soul when I hear that, mainly because, you know, society makes it seem like if there is a contentious relationship between a father and any child, it's the dad's fault. And I mean, I've talked about with several friends of mine, and I tell them sometimes it's going to seem like it's more your fault, even if you're the one putting out the olive branch. You're the one coming through in the clutch when they need it, and they don't respond for you. That got to be a hard thing. And I've talked to several of my friends about that, and I'd let them know, look, as a man, as a dad, another person said it perfectly. You are a servant king. Yeah. So you have to carry yourself like a king, but be willing to serve. And unfortunately, whenever you serve somebody, sometimes there's no answer to it. There's no reciprocation, and you have to be willing to do it without. And you being a dad, I'm sure that, especially because it's as tough as it was, especially while you were going through that, that had to really weigh on you. So one thing I'm going to elaborate on with you, I want to talk about, was your relationship, because it came up a few times. So that's what we're going to talk about next. So something that was really impactful in everything you said was the love and support of your wife. Especially when we just talked about how the relationship with your 2 biological kids was strained. And that's something you would hope to have behind you as you're going through the struggle.
Yeah.
So then tell me a little bit about how important and how supporting and how much that support from your wife meant to you through everything. I mean, you had a great journey so far.
Yeah.
She supported you from what I'm seeing. Obviously, I'm never in your home, but you know, she supported you with the initial weight loss, then was there for you when you got the surgery. Then you dove in together in the gym. Then she even jumps in the Yandel videos.
Yeah.
That takes a lot because some people are like, that super, I ain't jumping in there. But she's in that with you and loving it. And I remember when you had the store first open, you were doing TikTok dances and all that. And then you went through the cancer. And her support, at least visibly and to the world, never wavered. So how was that for you?
Everything. I honestly, I wouldn't have got through it without her being by my side. And
take your time. It's all good.
Like I said, I've had relationships before where it was, when everything was good, it was, I want to brag to my friends, and when things was a little fucked up, and it was like, you got to figure that out by yourself. And then when you get good again, then we can rekindle what we had. And she's been, her loyalty to me, her love for me, I've never had before in my life. And I owe her everything. She continued to run our business by herself. Do the business all day, come home and make sure I'm good. Even before I can ask her, hey, how was the shop today? How are you doing? Did you eat something? What did you do today? Like, for a man, somebody asks you, it's people have this thing of love in their heads. Like, sometimes a man just want to hear, did you eat today? That's important.
Ooh, man, talk about it.
She's my everything. I brag about her a lot on social media.
Yeah, you do.
I even got people in my inbox, hey, you talk about your wife too much. These are the single people.
Ignore that. That's stupid. Ain't no talk about it too much.
These are the single people that can't keep a man.
Yeah. I mean, that's stupid. Talk about it too much.
Yeah.
Nah, you talk about the most important things in your life.
Yeah. And she's rocking, I'm rolling. And whoever doesn't like it, can't help you.
Yeah.
Sorry for you.
Back. You think you wouldn't be, when you look at all these steps, do you think you wouldn't have made it through some of that without her?
No. I tell her that all the time. There's no way I'm getting through this without you by my side. There's no way. No way. I honestly 100% believe that.
Yeah, and you know what's funny? I believe that too, because there's times when I'm watching what you're posting and what you're doing. It's very, I think it's cool. Like even funny parts, like you'll be taking a walk and you're filming her butt, and then you report, and then you comment on it. I be cracking up, but that's especially after hearing even more about your journey, it feels like that's a multi-level post. Like, yeah, you're looking at her physically. You're also happy because you're working out together, but you're also happy to be alive and still have her around. And I can tell that she helps keep you going.
Oh yeah, definitely. Going through something like this, you're gonna see who's in your corner and who's not.
Right.
People easily say, if you need anything, I'm gonna be there. But then when it comes time for that to show and prove, they're not. I lost a couple friends, childhood friends, friends I've been rocking with for years. For whatever reason, they just decided to step back.
You mean when you were going through the cancer?
Yeah. Yeah.
Why would they, if you don't mind, man, why would they step back? Like, I don't understand how remaining your friend could be detrimental to them at all. So why would they take that choice? Was it like they verbally even said?
No, they never verbally said anything, but
okay.
it's just like the interaction stopped. And that's not for me to figure out. Like that's
not at all.
That they got to figure out. If you could call me a friend, and at one of the lowest points in my life, that's when you decide to backpedal. That says more about you than it does about anything.
Facts. Real talk.
And, you know, the one thing I love about my wife is when I give people too many chances. And she has pointed out a couple times, like, yo, this person doesn't have your best interest. Watch them. And then as I pay attention, it's like, okay, I see it. I see what you're talking about.
Okay. And
you need somebody, like, I'm sure your wife does that for you. Mm-hmm. There's been a couple people, like, watch them. It's just, I'm not saying you got to cut ties off, but I'm saying just watch them.
Yeah, watch how deep you dive in with it, for sure.
Yeah, and it's been on point. On point.
You know, it's cool to hear a man who's willing and able and can discuss the impact his wife had on him. Because as men, you know, especially when you're going through some things, you tend to worry, like you tend to not want to be soft. You tend to not want to be, oh, I couldn't do it without you, etc., etc. Is that feeling that you had for your wife? I mean, I know, like you said, you were in a long-term relationship before. Did you start having these feelings for your wife even before all this drama? Or was it your relationship with her built through these? Or did you, like, for instance, the way you feel about her right now, obviously what you went through made it stronger, but did you know she was this special person even before all these different parts of your journey?
Listen, anybody that can put up with me, with my moods, because we all have moods.
Yes.
Is somebody special. When we first got together, we had our issues, you know. I was single for so long, just dipping and dabbing, and I still had that mind frame. But it doesn't take a man too long to know that, okay, this is the one for me. And if I see people on social media, they together 15, 20 years, they not married yet. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, what are you waiting for?
Yeah, like, just time is going by. It took me about maybe a year and a half, and I knew, okay, I got to propose to this woman, because she ain't gonna be waiting around too long.
Like, you better put that ring on it.
And I'll be damned if somebody else grab her from it, because we signed. I told her all the time, we signed a contract when we first met. You're not getting out of this contract. You're not getting out of this contract. And so I think I always had these feelings about her, but I think that it's just intensified a lot more because of my fear of her backpedaling when I was going through this, and the fact that she was there 100%. It's like, okay, she's it. She's it.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's good, man. That's real good stuff. So let's backpedal a little bit. When you were going through the weight loss, was there extrinsic motivation or was that intrinsic? Like, were you driven because of the appearance of the weight loss, or were you driven more because the health portion of the weight loss? Because again, one thing that's very prominent in your story is how important health is. But sometimes people get healthy not for health reasons per se, because they want to look good, they want to work out, they want to present themselves in a certain way. When you started losing the weight, from 400 pounds, what made you decide to start losing that weight? What did that?
Well, I had proposed to her before it was even thought of weight loss surgery. So after I had my weight loss surgery, my goal was to get down to a comfortable weight that I would look nice in my tux for my wedding. And that was the goal every time I went to the gym. Like, I need to look nice in my tux. And I went hard, like, every time with that thought in my head. I did it more for the health reasons. Like I said, all that attention that you get losing weight, that doesn't drive me. What drives me is I need to get, this is my another chance to get in the best possible shape I can get. And I'm not going to take it for granted. Like I said, I've seen other people get the same surgery and they look like they never had the surgery.
Right.
So
you lost weight, just so I'm understanding the timeline, like when you met her, were you already in the process of losing weight? Like you said, it was before the weight loss surgery, but you lost how much before you even had that?
Yeah.
So were you like in the process of losing weight when you met her? Did you decide to lose weight because of her? How'd that go?
When I met her, I was out probably at my heaviest.
Okay.
So that was another factor. Like, she was with me at my heaviest weight and didn't care. You know, she cared, but it wasn't an issue like, bro, you're out of shape. Like, never said anything. And then when I started the Herbalife, she saw I was getting results, and she was like, you know what, he's getting results. Let me try this myself. And like I said, at that time she was heavier, and she lost almost 70 pounds herself.
So you were like the catalyst to the whole thing.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this then. When you, and I've always wondered this, and hopefully you'll share it. As you grow and got to the 400 pounds, weren't there checkpoints or thoughts that would almost kept you from getting there? Because I've always wondered that. You know, I know myself, and maybe it's an insecurity within me, maybe it's how I look at myself, but like, when a pair of pants don't fit no more, I'm like, oh snap, hit the gym that day, no carbs, fat, like I go real hard. If you don't mind discussing, like, as you gradually got to the 400, because obviously nobody starts there, what was your thought process or things that you denied on the way there to let yourself get that big? Because it is something that goes on in your head. I
denied. Like, you can look in the mirror and see, like, okay, you're getting out of control. But at that time, I was still going through it with the mother of my kids. I was a cab driver at that time. Cab driver, you pass every fast food restaurant. You might not even be hungry, but you're going to go through that drive-through.
I guess so. You just bored driving around.
Yeah, I was out of control. I remember I had McDonald's for breakfast. I had McDonald's for lunch. Yeah, it was bad.
And then you said you were a cab driver, so you're just sitting on it.
Yeah, and then put depression on top of that. The relationship with my kids, trying to fight to get to see them more than every other weekend, because at the time, that's the only time I could get them.
Yeah.
It was all on my shoulders at that time. So, I mean, and the eating was just a way of coping with all that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So even as you did it, like you said, you could look and see it.
Yeah.
But that wasn't enough to stop you because of the other things that were weighing on you.
Yeah. I look back at pictures now and I'm like, yo,
yeah,
I had all these friends and nobody said nothing.
They nobody would have hurt your feelings, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
Or maybe it didn't matter to them.
I think that the moment I knew it was bad was I had a pair of shorts and I had to tie a string around the shorts to tie them.
Oh, wow.
And I still have them shorts in my closet.
Like a reminder.
Yeah. It was bad. Legs all swollen.
So that was like one day you did that, and that's what made you say, time to change.
Yeah.
So that was your moment.
And then I remember I was at a gas station and some lady that was doing Herbalife came up to me and she said, "Oh, you would be good for this?" And I was like, "Damn, you just came up on me because I'm big."
That takes some balls, right?
And I purposely, I started Herbalife, but I didn't go through her. I went through somebody else.
Okay.
Purposely because I wanted to lose weight and see that same lady. I knew I was going to run into her. But I wanted to lose weight and run into that same lady and say, "Yeah, I did start Herbalife, but I didn't start with you." There's a certain way that you come at a person. I didn't like the way you came at me like that.
Did you ever see her again?
Oh yeah.
Did you?
And she said, "How come you didn't come through me to lose weight?" I said, "Because I told her I didn't like the way you came. I was pumping gas in the cab. I didn't like the way you came up to me, and just because I was big, I know I'm big.
Yeah.
The world knows I'm big. I didn't need you to come up to me and tell me I'm big too."
You got wow! I can't believe she just walked up on you and said, "Yeah, you could use this Herbalife. Let's get down with it."
She gave me a little flyer that had her number on there. "Hey, if you're interested in losing weight, contact me." Yeah.
Wow.
West Reading, Sunoco.
He said, I remember the place. Hey.
Yeah.
Wow. So you still do the Herbalife?
Yeah, I do. I do.
I mean, I know the stuff at the shop is banging. I wish it was closer to my job because I'd be having stuff over there all the time.
Yeah.
But, so I ain't gonna lie, man. Like, I've known you forever. I watched your journey through social media and things like that. And we run into each other and we chat and at events and things. But hearing this now is different.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna lie, I want to say thank you for coming on and sharing. I want to say thank you for being vulnerable and sharing how you felt. Again, anybody who knows me knows I loved hearing how much you love your wife and how you credit her with even being here because you wouldn't be able to do it by yourself. So I just want to say thank you for coming on. And this one hit like. Great conversations every episode, but this one, it helped me get into your mind more and into your heart more, and it made me reflect on some things. So I just want to say thank you for coming on, sharing that story, bro, because you've inspired a lot of people I don't think you realize even before today. And I think once people get a hold of this story and the way the story has molded you and what kept you going, you're going to be something for somebody who they didn't even expect. So somebody's going to hear this, it's going to make a difference, man.
I thank you for the opportunity to get my message out there. And I am in remission 4 months today.
Well, congratulations, man. Congratulations.
Yes.
That's dope. So why don't we do this? Can you talk about, just give a quick plug. I'm going to be honest, a shameless plug. Tell them about the shop.
Okay. Me and my wife, we have a business. It's Rise and Grind Nutrition, 606 Kenhurst Boulevard. Same plaza as Retro Fitness, Cash Converters, and the post office. We're 2 doors down from the post office. We sell shakes, energy teas, protein balls, donuts, everything for you to live a healthy lifestyle. It's all nutritious for you, tastes good, low in calories. We have over 80 flavors of shakes, teas. Well, 80 flavors of shakes. About 25, 30 different flavors of teas. The energy teas. I drink an energy tea on my way to work every day.
I tell you what, the energy teas are no joke.
No joke.
They feel like you got a fat burner in you, but thanks for, I want to make sure you got that plug in there because people need to come see you. One, Herbalife got you where you are now, but also just because it's a great place to go, get some good, healthy food.
Yes.
And since we're talking about health, we need that.
Yeah, stop through. My wife will help you out, get you on a plan if you want that, and get the best version of you.
Appreciate it. Thank you for coming on, bro.
Thank you, bro.
Definitely. Appreciate everything, man. Appreciate you coming on, sharing that story.
Yeah.
Hey everybody, hope you enjoyed this last episode. If you have, please check back and check our previous episodes. Also, make sure you watch it, make sure you like it, and most importantly, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. Here at The Forge Focus, we just want to make sure that we're sending out positive vibes and great information from men in the community who can affect it and affect society as a whole. So again, please stay tuned. We got some more great things coming up for you. Prepare to be forged.
We hope you enjoyed this episode and, more importantly, learned something that can affect your perspective on yourself and manhood as a whole. If you have found the value that we expect that you did, we encourage you to hit the like and subscribe button and share this video. Spread the word and tell anyone in your life who can benefit. We'll see you on the next episode. Prepare to be forged.